Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Exotic Cars 19, and can you guys believe it? 1 year with the 350 already. This kind of sprung up on me pretty quickly. I just kind of decided, you know what, just grab the camera equipment, jump in the car, and let's just talk about how great the last year has been. No surprise, right? You didn't expect me to come on in here, give you the 1 year update, and tell you the car was no good. So I guess I'll start off by talking about my previous cars, in case you guys are new to the channel. This is the first video you're watching, and you guys are not caught up yet. So before I picked this up, I actually sold my car before, which was a Subaru BRZ Series Blue. It was a 2015 white BRZ, and I loved that car. And I loved it because of its characteristics, not because of its performance or lack thereof. It was just a really, really joyful car to just drive kind of spiritedly all the time with a manual transmission and just really, really well balanced. Before that car, I had another BRZ. Yeah, as my good friends know, I'm very impulsive, so if I see another one I like, I just do that without much thinking. But anyway, I then graduated from those, and I still love the FRSs and BRZs, don't get me wrong. Some of you guys are watching this because you're subscribed from way back on those videos. Still love those cars, but I wanted something that is just more graduated, something with the characteristics of the cornering and all that stuff, but with a little bit more rasp to it, I guess. And if you guys will recall, in that last video, or in the video where I mentioned buying this car, and it kind of threw a lot of people off guard, I did not cross shop it with anything at all. I didn't toy with the idea of buying anything else. I didn't test drive anything, didn't cross shop. I knew the 350 was for me solely off the videos I was seeing online, what people were saying about it. To me, in my eyes, it was not a Mustang. It was something different. And not that I dislike Mustang, I just couldn't see myself in a Mustang unless it was like some like cool 60s or something like that. I don't know. But this one just struck me differently. Something about the 5.2 liter flat plane crank V8, the soundtrack of it, Alcantara steering wheel, manual only, and overall the balance. And kind of how it wasn't like the Shelby before, the GT500, which I do like, just not for me. That being said, it's a very powerful car that likes to do burnouts, but not the most controllable on track. I'm talking about the GT500 here. So I thought it was cool, but not for me. Whereas this one comes out, and it is the Porsche GT3 of muscle cars, which is to say it's balanced and it's nimble and it's capable, but it also has the same capability to get the spec sheet and throw it out the window, and it's just about the experience. That's where it's at for me. So there was no question. I didn't even test drive it. I went in there, and like I said, I'm very impulsive, so I walked in the dealership to take a look at, and within the week it was mine. So I didn't think much about it, because usually when I do, I'll talk myself out of a situation. So I just went for it, and I'm so glad I did. I have been saying that I've been daily driving it up until recently, although the mileage won't really show that. So anyway, 1 year later, I only have 6,800 miles, but they've been mostly fun. And I've been saying I daily drive it because it was my only vehicle for the longest time. In my head, my only vehicle, as much driving I need to do, I'll do it with this. To me, that's a daily driver. But I didn't have a job that needed me to be somewhere 5 days a week up until a month ago. That's why I bought the Raptor. So now my Raptor's my daily, and this thing is kind of used more for fun, but I've been driving it at least weekly. But the funniest thing about that, though, I will say, is I have so much more appreciation for this car now than I did just a month ago before I bought the Raptor, because I drove it all the time and it's such a great car. So I just spoiled myself. I felt like that's the way cars should be. They should just be loud, they should be fun, they should be easy to drive, but still not lacking in any kind of, I don't know, performance and fun aspect to it. I've been driving the truck around, and then I go back to this like once or twice a week, and it feels so much smaller, so much lower, so much faster, and it just sounds so much better. It's just an illusion. So now I have this new found appreciation for this car. It almost feels like my first time driving it again. So I'm just absolutely in love with it, and like I said, I just can't see myself selling it or anything like that. I guess I'll tell you guys again, if you're not caught up to speed, what I've done to it. There's not much that needs to be done with the 350. All I've done is the resonator delete, so it screams like a GT350R, which is still factory. So that's kind of about it. And nothing else needs to be done, in my opinion. This thing is absolutely fantastic in every way, shape, or form. The way it comes from Ford, 2017 being the track pack, 2017 Plus being the track packs, magnetic ride and all that stuff. It is super comparable on the road, just to daily drive and all that stuff if you wanted to. The clearance is high enough to where it clears speed bumps. The only slight scrapes I've ever done were on the metal bolts, not the splitter, so it's fine. But yeah, it's not too low at all. Yeah, honestly, it's just a sweetheart of a car if you want it to be. It gets 16.1 miles per gallon average from my previous 6,800 miles, which is, you know, for a naturally aspirated 5.2 liter, thinking 6.2, thinking about the truck, for a 5.2 flat plane crank V8 naturally aspirated, I'll take 16.1 any day. That's not too bad. I'm guessing some people are watching this video wanting me to get into the nitty-gritty and talk about how it's been after 1 year, some things that you may not know about if you haven't had it for 1 year. To be honest, really no surprises. I guess we could talk about running cost, which is a, you know, hot topic about, you know, cars and stuff like that. Nowadays it's just kind of hard to talk about running costs because for the most part it tends to be zero, because if we're going to talk about running costs, it's only fair to remove the variables. What my insurance is not what your insurance is going to be. What I pay for gas isn't going to be what you pay for gas, because of course the variable is how much you drive, and so on and so forth. So if I'm going to talk about running costs, I don't want to talk about all the variables that change all the time like that for different people in different circumstances. So with that said, my running cost for this car in the last year has been $137. Let me explain. I bought this from a dealership that gives me my first oil change for free, and I took it upon myself to get the oil change at 1,000 miles. The break-in period, I went through it, I pampered it quite a bit, and after 1,000 miles, I went and got the oil change just a bit early. I thought nothing can hurt, so that was a free oil change. And then they put a sticker on my car, like right here on the windshield, saying next oil change should be this date or this mile period. So when the month came up for the oil change, I went there not really knowing what to expect, and it drinks oil quite a bit. One oil change at Ford cost me $137. Of course, you could save a lot of money, do it yourself. You can save a lot of money, go somewhere else. And you know what? I want this car to have a nice clean paper trail for Ford service. Again, why? I don't know. I'm not going to sell it anytime soon at all. I really not want. I don't know. It just makes myself feel better. Just having the paper trail of it being serviced at where I bought it, personally. But $137 for one oil change, and I actually just started the car up for the intro on this video, and it said change oil soon. However, the sticker says September, so, you know, within the next month, it's going to be another $137. Other than that, what I'm getting at is that is the routine oil changes. No surprises with this car at all. Nothing I had to get done. Nothing I had to get straightened away under warranty. Nothing. If this had no warranty out of the factory, there would have been nothing that would have, you know, cost anything out of pocket for me. The car has been great 1 year later and 6,800 miles later, as I would expect. That's not me patting this thing, you know, saying, oh, what a great car. Nowadays, it's kind of what to expect, and so there you go. If that doesn't answer why this car doesn't get old within 1 year, then I don't know what will. I swear this car is the best that money can buy. I mean, at even what they're going for now with the track pack, you know, like 50s, low 50s or whatever. I don't know what competes, to be honest. I really don't. And like I said, the whole illusion about like owning a truck at the same time, something taller, something slower, something that doesn't sound as loud and all that kind of stuff. And I just jumped to this. I got the rear seats folded up just to emphasize the sound. If you haven't heard me say it before, when you fold the rear seats, because there's a lot of sound deadening in the rear seats, if you fold them down on the 350, you get a lot of noise coming in here, especially with the valves open, with no resonator. It's just the cleanest, but yet nastiest sound. It's just hilarious. And now I have law enforcement in front of me, so we're gonna go ahead and stop ref matching, maybe close the valves and be a good Samaritan. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, what else can I really say about this thing? Most of its greatest parts really can't be put into words. Just one of those things. If you know someone with 350, try to get a hold of them, try to go for a ride along. If there's a used one in your area, go test drive it. But if you're just remotely considering one, I'm just telling you to pull the trigger on it. It's just, it is what it is, man. As good as you think it is, it just is. The only problem is you're really gonna struggle finding a new car after this one. So just know if you buy one, you're out of pocket that cost, and you're not getting it back because you're not going to want to sell it. I swear. I know it sounds like a Ford commercial. I know I look like a Ford fanboy now that I got that truck, but I promise you, when I like good products, I just like good products, and this one's been awesome. So that'll probably do it for the boring segment of this video, just talking about how great the car is, probably most of which you already know. I guess I'll just close out the video. Hopefully I got enough B-roll and all that stuff within the video to kind of interrupt some of the boring parts, but I guess I'll just leave you guys with some compilation of just the exhaust and some fun mashing of the throttle. But anyway guys, I really appreciate the long-term support, whether it's been this last year with the 350 or longer than that, or this is the first video. I totally, very much so appreciate the support. So anyway, that'll do for this one. See you guys on the next one.